Tanu Rabbanon. Okay, stuff Tanu Rabbanon. 19b, the last fifth of the page.
We have a second set of numbers.
Okay.
B3. It's like B4.
Will be after. Okay. Okay. Tanu Rabbanon. Pamachos olu kol Yisrael l'regel l'Yushalayim. It's interesting. It says Pam olu kol Yisrael. All the Jews came to Yerushalayim for the regel, and there wasn't water for them. He went to a non-Jew, one of the masters there. I want to borrow 12 well springs of water. So Rashi says, if it's a wellspring, what do you borrow? That basically it was a type of well where it didn't have a continuous resurgence of new water. So it was a very small amount. It mostly was comprised of what? Either over time it accumulated or was partially rainwater in there. And I'll replace it. And if I don't replace it by a certain date, I'll give you 12, whatever it is, kikar. How does he explain kikar? Blocks. Blocks of silver.
72,000 dinars. Huge sum.
Yeah. For Kovalos man, they set a date that if the water is not paid by a certain date, he pays the money. Came Shigiz's man, so the date came. V'lo yorduk shamim. That day was the last day, and it didn't rain. B'shachri sholach lo. So in the morning, the guy sends Nagdim Agurian, shkarli omayim mos. He says, I want you to send me either the water or the money. Sheyesh loch biyodu, which you owe me. Sholochu adayin yesh li zman. So Nagdim says, I still have time. Kol yom kulo shelihu. He says, the day is my day. I don't want to hear about you till the end of the day. But Tzarayim comes midday. Sholochu shargeli omayim mos. Again, either the water or the money. Sholochu adayin yesh li shos biyom. He says, I still have time. B'mincha sholach lo shkarli mayim. Came mincha time already. Omo sheish loch biyodi. He says, I still have time from mincha till nightfall. This guy, he starts mocking him. The whole year it hasn't rained. We got 2 hours to go. You think it's going to rain now? You can be able to repay me the water? So the guy immediately went into the bathhouse with joy. So Nagdim went into Beis Hamikdash in a depressed state. He wrapped himself in the talis and he started to daven. He said before Hashem, Ribono Shalom, Master of the world, of the universe. What I did was not for my own honor, and not for the honor of my father, the household of my father. That water should be available for the Oli Regolim, for the ones who visit the Yerushalayim. Immediately the sky came together a thick cloud covering. Hear this? Until the 12 well springs were filled with water, even more than originally they had taken out of these well springs. By the time this character came out of the bathhouse and the Gurian came out of Beis Hamikdash, and they meet. He says, you have to pay me the difference. You have to give me back some water because you got too much water. He says, I know God only turned the world upside down because of you. He says, but factually, I have a claim against you. I have a basis to have a claim, a financial claim, to get the amount of money. The rain came too late. It's nightfall. The sun set. So when it rained too late. So Nagdim goes back in Beis Hamikdash. The Sati b'omid b'tfila v'omid lefanov. Lord Shalom. Hoda sheyesh lach ahuvim b'olamecha. Make it known that you have those who are beloved to you in this world. Miyad nispazru ovim. Immediately the cloud cover dispersed. V'zor chachama. and the sun shined through. He says if the sun wouldn't have pierced the clouds, I would have had a claim to be able to extract money from you. But now it's lost, it's gone. So over here, Tosas says the word nigdor means it pierced the clouds. Tona lo nagdimin shmo. These were left off yesterday. His name was not Nagdimon, ela Buni shmo. His real name was Buni. Okay, Buni. Why was he called Nagdimon? He was called that because to identify that the sun, this miracle happened, that Hashem allowed the sun to pierce the clouds to reveal this miracle. That's what it's called, Nagdimon. Bunishmo. Let's see, base. Yeah. Ton Rabbon, Shloshin Nigdimo Lehem Chamo Bavuran. There were three people that the sun actually stayed east from Kedem, stayed east. Meaning the sun did not set. Because what happened here really, it should have set. The sun should have set even by Hashem held up the sun, he didn't let it set. Moshe Yeshua Nagdim Ben Gurion. Moshe, we know, we'll see in a moment. Yeshua, it's explicit in Navi, right? And when he fought the battle, the sun, right, stayed overhead. Bishlam Ben Nagdim Ben Gurion Gemara. How do we know the story of Nagdim Ben Gurion? That's part of our tradition. It's not based in Psukim. Yeshua Nami Kro. It's a pasuk Dichsiv. It says in Yeshua, Vayidom Hashemesh V'yoreach Omad. Right? Brings the pasuk. Where is it? Vayidom Hashemesh Yoreach Omad Ad Yokum Goy Oyuvov Halo Hiksuvo Al Seif HaYosher V'yamor Hashamayim B'chatzi Hashamayim. Right? It stood in the middle. V'lo Otz Lovo Kiyom Tomim. It did not hurry to set. Stayed in the middle of the sky. This. Okay. Now what's a nida? Menstruant. Omer of Yud Omer Rav Lebrocha. Even though it's a time of the Churban, Yushalayim became like a nida, like a menstruant. Man hi yesh leheter, just as a nida eventually, when she stops menstruating, she'll be permitted to her husband. Av Yushalayim yesh takona. Ultimately, Yushalayim will be corrected. It's not a permanent destruction. It's only temporary. So when Yirmiyah writes in Echo, she's like a nida, that's speaking this hope for the future. Then it says, in It doesn't say she's a widow. She has a semblance of an almana. Ki, like. Right? You took an ulpan. Kuh, right? Kuh is like you and Howard. Amr Yehuda lebrocha. Kalmona v'lo kalmona mamish. You're like a widow, but not a widow. It's like a husband, a woman, his husband goes overseas, and eventually he's going to come back. I will make you disgraced and lowly. What does that mean? I will mean the goyim will see you as lowly people. He says that's a bracha. You know why? If a Jew is seen in a prestigious way, you know what they do? They appoint us to be the tax collectors for official positions. We don't want to go there. Because they see us in such a disgraceful way, we're not going to conscript you into our service. But that's a bracha, because being conscripted into work for them, it's the beginning of the end. Vika Hashem is Yisrael kashe yonud hakoneh. Now, it says in the Pasuk, Hashem will smite the Israel, ches. One second, ches. Vika Hashem is Yisrael, it's a Pasuk in Malachim. Kashe yonud hakoneh b'mayim. Hashem will smite the Jews like a reed in the water. V'nochish Yisrael me'al adoma. He will uproot them from the land. Hatov azos shnas lavsechem. V'zeiru me'ver ano yan asher osu es ashreim machisim. Because they planted these idolatrous trees. So okay, so what happened? Amr Yehuda Amarav, that's a bracha. Hear this? Hashem will smite you like a reed in the water. He'll uproot you. He'll scatter you. Hear this? That's a bracha. Domer Rav Shuman Achmoni, Amr Rav Yonasan, Maidich Siv, Nemonim Pitzei Oev, it's Pasuk Mishlei. Nemonim Pitzei Oev in that Torah from the Shikwa. Hear this? And the wounds of an Oev are more valuable than the kisses of an enemy. Yeah? Because when one who loves you, he smites you, right? He beats you up. What is it? Because he loves you. The enemy may kiss you, but what? But in his heart he hates you. He wants to destroy you. Tova klola shekil achio hashiloni Yisrael. The one who said you will be smited like a reed in the water, that was Achia Shaloni. That expression was what? Was an expression of love. Yosim brochish birchon bilam harosha. Hear this? It has greater value than the broch which Bilam had given Klal Yisrael. This week's parsha. Here. Achia Shaloni kilom bikona. He says you'll be like the reed in the water. What's a reed? Now, where the reeds grow, it grows in where the water is. That's the source of life for the reed. What happens if you cut a reed? You cut bamboo. Once you plant bamboo, you never get rid of it. Because as much as you cut it, just keeps growing. So even if you cut it, it's going to eventually come out. Yeah? And it has endless roots. You cannot uproot all the roots. So it's always going to grow. All the winds who blow it, and it looks like it's flat, right? It's secure in its place because of its roots, its deep roots, its extensive root system. It sways with the wind, right? As they say, it sways with the punches. What happens when the wind stops blowing? Again, the reed is secure in its place. He says you should be like the cedar. Shenema karozim alimoyim. Ma erez eino omid b'mokamayim. What's it called? An erez, a cedar tree, is not planted by the water. Once you cut down a cedar tree, you have to plant a new tree. It does not continuously regenerate itself. And its roots are not many. It's true. It's a powerful tree. All the winds blow, it doesn't move it. It's secure in its location. However, but if the southerly wind blows, which is a fierce wind, it topples the tree, and that's it. The tree's over. Not only that, that's number one. So the curse of Achil Shiloni, that's what? That's Nemonim Pitzei Oiv. That is the Nemonim. They're faithful. The wounds of the Oiv are faithful. It has value more than the kisses of an enemy. It's all window dressing, but in reality, he wishes you the worst. Now, what do you do with a reed? Use it as a quill to write a Sefer Torah. What do you do with a cedar tree? Use firewood to make furniture, one or the other, okay? Or a deck. Home Depot, cedar deck. Now over here, Tosas says something interesting. Bilam says we should be like the Erez al Mayim, on water, but it doesn't grow. So Tosas says, Bilam never said water. It should be the cedar by the tree. Malach added that. Bilam, being our enemies, you'd be like the cedar, meaning that you should be toppled. And once you're toppled, you're not getting up again. You should be, so that Malach adds by the water. There should always be a source of sustenance. He says, should be like flowing rivers. Malach Omar nitoyu denim siapshin. A river could dry out. You have a dry river? No. The aim is natoyu, means it continues to flow. That the Malach ended. So whenever something positive had to be added, that it shouldn't be limited, it was the Malach that added that to what Bilam had said. Okay, further. Ton Rabbanon. Lolim ye odom rach kekoneh. Person should be amenable as a koneh, as a reed. Ye koshe ke'eres. Yeah, and you shouldn't be hard like an eres. Unbending like a cedar. Maise shebor Reb Lozer, Reb Shimon's question the gears here. Either it's Reb Shimon or Lozer, Migdol Gedor, Beis Rabo. Reb Lozer Shimon was returning from a location called Migdol Gedor, from the house of his Rebbe. He came back and he was a great Talmud Chacham. He was riding on a donkey, and it was like strolling along the edge of a river. And he felt elated. Rashi says, he felt, he just learned, and he feels he accomplished so much, he feels totally elated. And he was like, he achieved a level of uncontrolled elation. So when a person feels like that, you feel the world is your world. You could say anything you want. Dato Gasa Olav. How does he explain Dato Gasa Olav? His mindset was, how do you say Gasa? Okay. Because he learned a tremendous amount of Torah. He meets a person as ugly as sin, very ugly. So here he's proud and he feels he's elated. So the person says to Reb Lozer Reb Shimon, Shomalo Rebbe, hear this? He doesn't respond to this ugly man. Omalo Reiko, Kamam Churos Ish, Shema Kol B'nei Od B'Yircha, B'chorin Kamoch, he says, you empty-headed person, you ugly person. The community you come from, are they as ugly as you are? Hear this comment. He says to this man. So Rashi and Tosas says this is talking to Eliyahu Hanavi, who came in disguise. He's not disguised. In this body, this ugly-looking person. Omalo, so this ugly man answers Reb Lozer Reb Shua. Reb Shimon says, Eni Odeya. He says, I don't know. What you ask, I don't know. Elo, lech v'mod u'men shosoni. If you have a complaint, go speak to the craftsman who formed me in this ugly state. Ask him what it's about. Kama mechur kli zeh sho'asis, and you should tell him, how ugly is this vessel that you made? This is what he tells him. This is right between the eyes. So immediately he realized he said the wrong thing. He knows he sinned because he was in this mindset. He immediately dismounted, prostrated himself before this ugly man. I acknowledge you, I bend my head to you. I want to be, please forgive me. He's asking forgiveness. Until you go, that means you got to die, you got to go to the craftsman, and you got to say to him, how ugly is the vessel that you made? Hear this? And this ugly man followed him till he came to his town. So Reb Lozer Shimon, he's a great Talmud Chacham, so all the members of the community came to greet him. Rebbe Mori, peace upon you, my Rebbe Mori. So this ugly man says to the community, who are you calling Rebbe? The one I don't know who's walking after who. Who's walking after who here?
The rabbi's walking after the Rebbe.
Even though he's arriving in the city of what? In his own city.
Right.
So I thought the ugly man was walking after him and he's following him.
Yeah.
So okay, Amru lo l'zeh shemda la'achrecho. Amar lehem im zeh Rebbe al yirbu kamos of Yisrael. No. Amru lo l'zeh shemitai la'achrecho. He says, tell the one who's walking back there, tell them, Amar lo l'zeh shemitai la'achrecho. Amar lehem im zeh Rebbe al yirbu kamos of Yisrael. If this is what called the Rebbe, there shouldn't be more of these kinds of people. Why are you talking this way? You hear this? You understand what he said to me? He said, nevertheless, he said the wrong thing. You should forgive him because he's Adam Godel Batorah. Meaning he recognizes and he understands the mistake he made. I mean, otherwise, what does one thing have to do another? He's Adam Godel Batorah. Why is it excusable? No. He did tshuva. He asked for forgiveness. He did tshuva. But he felt he shouldn't be forgiven. So they said you should forgive him despite the fact. Because so what is the Adam Godel Batorah? What can answer that? This is the Gemara in Brachos. The Gemara says that if you saw Talmud Chacham sin at night, you should know he definitely did tshuva by the morning. Why only Talmud Chacham? Because a person who's of certain dimension, he could appreciate and realize the wrong he had done. An ordinary person can't. So that's what they said, because he's Adam Godel. When he asks for forgiveness, it's not because he just wants to get off the hook. He truly appreciates the wrong that he had done. Therefore, he forgive him. For you, because of you, that's why I'm forgiving him. But he should not repeat this. He can't behave this way. This behavior is unacceptable. Immediately, Reb Shimon gave a lecture. What was the lecture he gave? You're bold and you feel like you're majestic and everybody's beneath you. Then you got a problem. Then you speak out of turn. A person has to be pliable and flexible like the reed. He says, and because the reed has this positive quality, that it is flexible, it's pliable, therefore the Kona merited that it should be the implement used to write Sefer Torah, Tefillin, and Mezuzah, for that reason. Okay? A city that has plague or what? Winds come and blow down the wall, blow down the houses of the walls. When we speak about what kind of walls were blown down, was it a ruins? Or was it a house, sturdy wall, and the walls blew down to that brios v'lo ruos. They're strong and they're not shaky. She'enon ruyos lipo. They're not meant to fall down. V'lo ruyos, Simor says, so if that's the case, it seems to be totally redundant. V'lo ruyos lipo l'haidni brios. If you tell me they're not meant to fall down, that means they're strong. They're strong walls. Haini she'en ruyos lipo, haini ruos. And what it says, that's haini ruyos lipo. Excuse me. Let me read again. It says, not ones that are meant to fall, ones that are not meant. What's healthy, strong, and not? Right? Lipo, lipo. Right? Ruos means they're meant to fall down. The naflamach, there are two types of walls. A wall can be built strong, but because of the height, it actually can't hold itself, so it falls over easily. Inami the kaimin agudid naharo, or it was built on the bank of a river. So what happens when the water wears away the base of the wall? Eventually, the wall topples. So that means it could be brios, but it's roy lipo. It's going to fall. There was a wall, a shaky wall in Nerdor, in Iraq. Excuse me, Rabbi Shmuel Tusei. Because it was a shaky wall, Rabbi Shmuel would not walk under the wall because you're not permitted to put yourself in a state of danger, right? You're not permitted to walk there. Avagav the kind of Asher Tleisar Shnin. You hear this? Even though the wall has in that weakened state, it stood for 13 years. So what are you worried about? If it stood 13 years, nevertheless, they said, look, factually, it's a wall that's weak. We're not permitted to go under that wall. Yom Echad Ikla Rav Adar Bar Ava Losem. Rav Adar Bar Ava visited the community. Amalei Shmuel Rav Nesi Mar Nekif. Shmuel says to Rav, let's take a circuitous route because we can't walk by that wall, right? Because that wall is a danger. Amalei Lo Tzrichna. So Rav says to Shmuel, we don't have to take the circuitous route. Hu Idno Dika Rav Adar Bar Ava Bahad Badon. Rav Adar Bar Ava is with us. The Nov Schus Libus Tapino, he has tremendous amount of schus merit. We don't have to be worried. Hashem will not allow that wall to fall over. So therefore, we're guaranteed we're not in a state of danger. Yeah, this is what Rav says to Shmuel. Listen to the story. Rav Huna Havalehu Chamra. David Beisarua. Rav Huna had wine that was in this house, that the house was about to collapse. So, but how does he go in there? Maybe while he's taking out the wine, the house may collapse on him. Right? The structure. Boy Lefnuyo. And he wanted to empty out the wine because he was concerned if the structure collapses, everything's gone. Aili le Ravada Barav Losam. Hear this. See, he brought Ravada Barav into the location, but how did he get him in there? Mashchi Bishmaitza. See, he began speaking to him and learning, and he walked with him into the structure. And he didn't realize that he's being used because if he's there, it's not caving in the house. Ad Panyo. Until the house, the structure was emptied of all the wine. After he walked out, all of a sudden the house collapses. Argish Ravada Baravo. Ravada immediately afterwards realized that he was being used. He was used to bring about this miracle, Ikpit. Yeah? And he was upset. He was upset at Rav Huna that Rav Huna used him. Why? Why was he upset? You could do a Jew a tova. You could do him a favor. Why are you upset? A person should not put himself in a state of danger. V'yoma osenliness. And you say, well, Hashem will perform a miracle on my behalf. No, I mentioned it. I mentioned it. I said it's today's Daf Yomi. Okay? Why? He says, why? You can't say, they'll perform a miracle on my behalf. Firstly, Shem ain't osenliness. First, who said they're going to perform a miracle? V'imtim tzloma osenliness. And even if they do, Menaklom Schuyosef, there's going to be a withdrawal from my mitzvah account. So what did you do to me? You brought me in a state of danger, but you realize the reality is he was speaking out of humility about the Barava. For him, they're not withdrawing from his account, and there's no question of miracles happening for him. Hashem will perform miracles. Hashem's not going to allow the house to collapse on him. Right? Otherwise, what was Rav Huna's justification? You mean because you wanted to save your wine, you're putting the other person's spirituality into jeopardy? Right? So how does Rav Huna understand it? If a person is not worthy of a miracle, then they have to deduct. Rav Adar was worthy of a miracle, but because of his humility, he says, who said I'm worthy of a miracle? First, it may not, and if it happens, because I'm not worthy, it's going to be a withdrawal from my account. But Rav Huna knew differently. Omer Rav Chonon. There's a famous story. We have time. Rav Eli Lapian. He was a mashgiach up in Kfar Hasidim. He learned it, no? Your brother-in-law. Wasn't he up in Rechasim? Panovich. No, wasn't he up in Rechasim? No, he wasn't up in, what's his name? So Rav Eli Lapian was a very holy man. Judah. You can tell the story when you get home. Rav Eli Lapian was a very holy man. When he was a young man, he was 27, he had Gilei Elio. That's how holy he was. Elio never came to him. It's a famous story. So he was when he was in England until he was 70 years old. When he retired, he moved to Eretz Yisrael. So when Yerushalayim, then they asked him to go up to north, near Haifa, to be a mashgiach. And he lived till 95, passed away in the 60s. So in those years, when he came in the 50s or late 40s, he came up to there. You can imagine what was going on. They had swamps. They had these horse flies that were so large. At certain seasons, it was impossible to walk. They would bite you. These horse flies, they would bite the people. So you'd have to walk with like some kind of like swatter just to swat them away, and you had to be fully covered. So the Rosh Hashiva, his name was Reb Mishkovsky. He was the Rosh Hashiva up in Kfar Hasidim. He spoke and he says, "You notice when Rav Eli Lapan walks, no fly goes near him. Flies go near him because the Mishnah says in Pirkei Avos there were 10 miracles that happened every day in the Beis Hamikdash. In the butchering location, you never saw a fly because a fly is an indication of impurity. But because he's such a holy man, the flies will not go near him. You see, you watch him, He's walking, no horsefly, no fly goes near him. So afterwards he found out that he revealed the secret. Because the Bachrim, they never noticed it, but then they started to notice. So from that time on, he took a towel when he walked out in the street, walking on the road, he would swish it to go like this all day. To make it as if he's driving away the flies, that's why the flies are not being attracted to him. You understand? That was his humility, that they shouldn't see the reality. He knew the reality, you understand? But they shouldn't see him to be so special. Okay?
Where was the date on?
In Kfar Hasidim, there's a location called Rachasim. It's about 20 minutes outside of Haifa. Yeah. Near the Technion, not too far. Okay.
It was terrible. In the 60s, I was in 61.
Yeah.
It was terrible up there.
Yeah. There were no roads. There was nothing.
No, marsh. It was marsh.
They had one bus, I think, every 3 days that went from there to Yerushalayim. Okay. Rav Chonon. Rav Chonon said, "Micro dechsiv katoti." Yaakov says, "Katotim kol achasodim kol emes." Right? What's the possible? We see that a person's chus could be diminished because of miracles, because Yaakov was concerned that he's not worthy of protection, because he says, I became lessened because of all the chesed and the emes which you provided for me. Yeah. Why was he so special? Why was Rava so special that he had all this special, that he was so special? Ki hodit marshol talmidov. The Ravada Baravo. They asked Ravada, why did you merit longevity? Okay? This is a secret. Norman, this is a secret for long life. You don't need Ponce de Leon, Fountain of Youth. Okay? Hear this? In his house, he was never upset with his wife, with his family, ever. Never demanded anything. I never presented myself in any special way. Somebody who was greater than I was. Gimel, what's the Bach? I never thought in Torah in unclean alleyways. I never walked 4 cubits, hear this? Without Torah and tefillin. There was never a lapse in his Torah thought, ever. He never napped in the Beis Medrash. Not something which is a substantial amount of time, even a cat nap. I never rejoiced at my colleague's downfall. And I never referred to my friend with a nickname which had a pejorative connotation. Even though it wasn't him, years ago. Today we don't hear it, but when you grew up in certain times, you call a guy, chubby, or Sonny. Hey, Sonny, It's not really a becoming way to refer to somebody. You have a name, what do you mean Sonny? Sonny boy, Sonny. So he never referred to anybody which had any degree of a pejorative type of connotation. So therefore, that's the reason why he was special. Omale Rava the Rafim Bar Papa. Now, there was a person that lived in Yerushalayim in the late 1800s. He said at his hesped, he doesn't want them to say any praise about him. But there's one thing they could say about him because he knows it's true. Yeah. He never had a lapse of Torah thought, ever, and always wore tefillin. And he never looked at any other woman other than his wife. That's the only thing they can say at his funeral. You understand? He was such a tzaddik, but that's the ultimate praise. Could you say more about a person than that? Same idea. Omali Rova the Rafim Bar Papa Lemela Mar Mahani Maliso Davi over the Rafuna. He says, tell us over something special about Rafuna. Something special about his life. Omale Biyant Kuse Lo Dachino. He says, when he was younger, I don't remember. Evidently, they were a similar age. Rafim Bar Papa was a similar age as Rafuna. He says, tell me of something from Rafuna's youth. He says, from his youth, I don't remember. Besibusi Dachino. But when he was older, I do remember. Listen to the story. I'll tell you a story afterwards. The Choyome De'eva Havimavkini Bukaharko the Dahava. Evidently, he came from a wealthy family. Every day he would go out with a golden chariot. Golden chariot. And he would go and he'd examine the whole community. He'd take, perverse the whole community. Whenever he would see a wall that was about to fall over, he would demolish the wall. If the owner of the wall was able to afford to rebuild it, he would pay for it. Yeah, and if the owner couldn't afford to rebuild, he would pay for the restoration of the wall. Every Shabbos, he would send an agent to the market. Whatever vegetables were left in the vegetable market, he'd buy up whatever was left over. Howard, we're talking about gourmet chef, quality vegetables. Okay? Whatever vegetables left in the market, he would buy up. The shodi le lahara, and he'd throw it into the river. Listen, so Rashi says why. We'll see in a moment. No, why is he throwing it into the river? Let him give it to the poor of the community. You know why? Because what happens? Because you know what's going to be? They're going to rely on him buying up what's left over. And they're not going to buy themselves for Shabbos. Somewhere says, what is he throwing in the river? Let him feed it to the animals. Something that's fit for you, something you don't give to an animal. So why are you buying it all? What's the point of throwing it in the river? Because if the vegetable vendors, they see they have left over, you know what happens? Next time when they bring to the market, they're bringing less. So if they're bringing less, there may not be enough to cover the needs of the community. Stop. So Rashi himself says, what's the point of throwing it into the river? Because the river would carry it down to the next community. The next community would benefit from those vegetables. It's not that he wasted it. Otherwise, you don't want to feed it to the animal because it's being wasteful. And throwing it through it is not being wasteful. No, by evidently he just didn't throw it in the river. He put it in some kind of crate, and it floated down the river. Down the river, they benefited from it. So his poor in his community, he wanted them, they should prepare for Shabbos. What they don't have, he'll help them. But in terms of, right, and not to buy it all, because next time they may bring less to market, the vegetable vendors. If there was an incident where somebody needed some kind of medication, he would hang out a cup of water at the door of his house. Called the boy, everybody's welcome to drink from this cup, this vessel. You know, like a person in the morning, the Gemara says in Shabbos, you have an impure spirit on your hands. You have to wash negelvasa. So in those days, they were called shifta. It was certain type of evil spirit, and you had to wash your hands, otherwise the person was in jeopardy. So you would hang out a cup with water to provide water for people to wash their hands, that they shouldn't be in not a good situation. When he would break bread, he would open his door. You know this? And it's not, he ate behind closed doors because he didn't want anybody to bother him. Whoever needs food is welcome. When I eat, the whole community is welcome to come eat with me. Omar Rava, so Rava said, this is Rav Huna. Evidently, he must have been a very wealthy man, right? I mean, we see what he did. He would demolish walls. He would pay for the restoration, all this. Omar Rav Kula Matzinim Mekaymo. He says, everything that I could have done, lebar miho, except for that. When he ate, he opened the door. He says, whoever needs food, let him come. Why? Because since the poor in Mechuzah are so many, they didn't inundate my house. I don't have the money to be able to feed them all. In his community, there weren't that many poor, so when he ate, he was able to invite everybody in. In my community, Mechuzah, there's so many people here, I'm not able to deal with the influx of the people. Okay, just stop for a second. There's a story I just read a few days ago, twice. Rav Baruch Ber Leibowitz, he was the commentator of Shiva. Somebody had said to him that there was a certain Jew living in Kamenetz, he was in Kamenetz, who knew Rabbi Akiva Eiger. Rabbi Akiva Eiger was he was the father of the Chassam Sofer. He was the leading Torah sage in the world. So he says, Rav Baruch was very excited. He'd like to see the man, because he'd like to hear over some stories. Like, you want to hear some stories, to hear what's special Rabbi Akiva Eiger. Comes, and he was an ordinary person. Tells him stories. He was very upset. Tells him nonsense. To be able to tell over something, to identify a person what he is, you yourself have to be a person of a certain degree of stature, of understanding who a person is. You tell me he wore a black coat and his hat was this, and he wore this kind of tie and these kinds of shoes, and he would give a kopeck to the poor man. That's not the kind of story he wanted to hear, but that's the kind of story he told him. So he says, this man didn't know Reb Kiva Eger. This is not Reb Kiva Eger, and he was very disappointed. First, he was all excited. So afterwards, I was reading just a few nights ago a certain sefer. Somebody who was very close, spent 15 years with the Brisker Rav. So Brisker Rav told him that a certain Jew who lived in Brisk. Somebody told Reb Chaim Brisker, Reb Chaim Soloveitchik, that this Jew knew Reb Kiva Eger. Same type of story. So Reb Chaim was very excited. He held Reb Kiva Eger was one of a kind. So he comes and knows the same thing. Says that man doesn't know, didn't know Reb Kiva Eger. You understand? So when the Gemara says, he said to Rav Papa, where is it? Rava says to Rav Papa, tell me of something special about Rafuna. Tell me something about Rav. He says, you know something? I don't remember anything from his youth, but from later years, I could tell you about him. So this is something special, right? Let's go further. It's a very interesting story. Ilfa, Rabbi Yochanan Abigarsi, Boraiso. Ilfa and Rabbi Yochanan were colleagues, and they studied together. No, okay. The Chiklu Mil Satuva, and they were very impoverished, both of them. They studied together, and they both impoverished. The Chikale Mil Satuva, very. I mean, they literally were destitute. Amri said, they said one to another, Nekum, Nezel, V'never Isko. We're going to get up, we'll leave our learning, we'll go into business. They went into business. When the Kaim ben Nafshin, and we'll be able to fulfill regarding our existence, Efes Kiloya B'cho Evion. It says, so there should not be an Evion as an impoverished person. Okay? Ozlu, what's Aleph? Ozlu, Osivu, Tusiguda. So they're traveling, also they sit by a wall. Tusiguda, they sit next to a wall, which is a shaky wall. Havakokarchi Rifto, so they're sitting by the wall, and they're eating bread, they're eating the lunch. Also, Chimalchi Ashores, Shame, Rabbi Yochanan, Domar, Chad Lechavri. All of a sudden, two angels come, and Rabbi Yochanan, he overhears the conversation of the two angels. Yeah, with the conversation. Domar, Chad Lechavri, Nishte Alayu, Haigudov, Diklatinu. Let's take the wall, topple it over them both of them, kill both of them. You hear this? Why did they deserve to be killed? They left their endeavors for the world to come and to be involved with, to maintain their present existence. So the other angel says to the other one, right? Shavkinu, leave them. Why leave them? Yeah, there's one of them, his time will come to be a great Torah sage. Rabbi Yochanan Shama, Ilfa lo Shama. Yochanan was privy to this conversation between the two angels. Ilfa's colleague was not. Omle Rabbi Yochanan Ilfa Shama Marmidi. So he didn't know whether Ilfa overheard the same conversation. He says, Ilfa, did you hear something? Omle lo? Lo? He says, no, I heard nothing. Omar Midashami Anov Ilfa lo Shamio. Since I was privy to the conversation, Ilfa was not. It means my time has come. My time has come to soar as a Torah sage. He says, Rabbi Yochanan says to his friend, I'm going back. I'm going back to the yeshiva. Be careful, Oretz. Here he went to fill the pasuk. There will always be an impoverished person. He says, I'm willing, even though I'm impoverished, I'm willing to hoe the road. Doesn't make a difference. Rabbi Yochanan Hodar, Ilfa lo Hodar. So Rabbi Yochanan went back. He became the leading Torah sage in Eretz Yisrael. Ilfa did not. Ad also Ilfa, Molech Rabbi Yochanan. Yeah, this, by the time Ilfa came back, Rabbi Yochanan already was the leading, he was the Rosh Hashiva in Eretz Yisrael. He was the leading Torah sage. Amr lo, he osiv mar v'goretz lavi Molech mar. He says, if Ilfa had a mind, which was the Kibbutz Rabbi Yochanan, he says, you realize if you wouldn't have gone to make your fortune, you could have been the Rosh Hashiva. You could have been the leading Torah sage generation. Ozal, meaning, the reason why you don't have Torah knowledge like Rabbi Yochanan is because you went back, because you left the yeshiva. Ozal tola nafshi baskarya desvinta. He went to the top of the mast of a ship. You hear this? Omar, and he said to prove that he didn't forget any of his learning. And he says, great and he's qualified to be a Rosh Hashiva, Omar, I'ika d'sholi masnisa de Reb Chia v'Reb Oshia. If anybody asks me from a Tosefta of Reb Chia and Reb Oshia, they're the ones who compiled the Tosefta, which is the Brisa, Pashtin le masnisin, and I can't bring a corresponding Mishnah to correspond to those Brisas, to those Toseftas. Now, filna maskari the Sefint of Tavano. I'm willing to throw myself from the mast of the ship and drown myself in the river to prove that he's just as fierce now, years later, as he was originally. You hear this? Also, Sabo, so an elderly sage comes. Tonale omet nu shekel bni b'shabis ve'ruyin losalem sela. A man leaves over his last will and testament, or a man's going out of town, and he says, give my children bonai shekel for the week, for their expenses. Ve'ruyin losalem sela. Sela is more. But they need more. They need a sela. Noslim sela. Vim Omar al tidlum elo shekel. I mean, if he says give a shekel, because he thought a shekel would be enough, the father. But if he would have known they need more, you give the seller. What about he says only give them a shekel? So he's very specific. I don't want you to give more than a shekel. Enoslim elo shekel. Omar mesu yirshu acherim. What he says? If I die, others should inherit me. Yirshu acherim tachteim. Bein shomatru bein shloma al tidnu enoslim elo shekel. We'll stop here. Okay.